Hey guys, so today I want to make a video sharing with you my top 10 earliest World War II M1 helmets. I made a video I think about 8 or 9 years ago sharing my top 5 earliest, and so I thought I'd do a top 10. And so I got some pretty cool helmets to share with you, and so I'm going to go ahead and bring you in and let's get started. Alright, so as you see I've got 10 World War II M1 helmets here, and what I wanted to tell you is all of these are McCords. You know, McCord started around July or so of 1941 producing helmets. And Schluter, you know, they started in January of 1943. And there's actually was a third company called Parrish, and they made helmets towards the end of the war. I can't remember exactly when their production happened, but it was a very small amount. I'd love to have one of those. Maybe one day one will make its way in my collection. Most of my collection are McCords. I've actually got 90 M1 helmets in my collection. That's a mixture, again, of McCords and Schluters. I think I've got somewhere around maybe 20 Schluters, and the other 70 or so, give or take, are McCords. You know, these are really fun to collect. You know, when I was a little bit younger, I really got heavily into collecting helmets, and I still like doing so. But, you know, the prices of them have just gone up, really like with anything else, and so I don't buy as many as I used to. But still looking for a deal out there. You never know what you'll find. You know, around 22 million helmets were made, and McCord made close to 20 million, and Schluter about 2 million, and then, like I said, a small amount made by Parrish towards the end of the war. And what you may not know is, you know, McCord, again, started somewhere around July 1941, give or take. Could have been early August. But they actually didn't start with the heat stamp at 0. Now, a lot of us call it a heat stamp. It's also known as like a heat lot number, or a I'm trying to think the other name for it. You know, like a sheet lot number. There's different lot of steel number. There's different names for it, or whatever you want to call it. But a lot of us just say heat stamp. And there's different, you know, variables that come into play when it comes to, you know, determining the age of a helmet and stuff like that. Not just that number. There's different characteristics of the helmet as well that you can kind of go by. And so McCord M1 helmets actually started around heat lot number, or heat stamp 25. Now 0 through about 24 roughly were basically given to the Kelly helmets, the M1917A1 Kelly helmets made by McCord, and they basically resembled the World War I 1917 U.S. helmet, except the liner was updated. That was the main difference, was it was an updated liner configuration in like the 30s into the early 1940s. And so then the M1s came into play. And so again, around 25 is the earliest heat lot number, heat stamp number. And the first helmet and the earliest one in my collection is this one right here. It's been in other videos. As you see, it's got like a red and greenish, used to be decal there. Probably 80-90% of it's gone, unfortunately. I've never been able to figure out what that is. On the other side, it's got like red and yellow here. Not 100% sure. I mean, I have some ideas from in the past, but it actually has a soldier's name in here. And let me move this chin strap out the way. John P. Berdan. And then you see it's got his serial number right there. And I did locate a soldier who was a Korean War veteran who had the name John P. Berdan. And this could have belonged to him. Obviously, it was a World War II helmet, but as we know, they were used in Korea and Vietnam, even up to like the 80s and stuff, maybe even the early 90s, but definitely into the 80s. But again, it could have been, or it could have been a World War II soldier that I just hadn't located yet. But again, it might have been reissued to this man whose name's in here. But the number is right here. If you can see that, it's 28E, 28E. And so this would date somewhere around July or maybe August of 1941. So very, very early M1 helmet. Unfortunately, it's no longer fixed bell. You know, they started production of swivel bells around October roughly of 1943. And then a lot of the fixed bells were broken or just converted to swivels over time. So that's my earliest one there. I'm proud to have it and thankful. Moving on here, this is my next one. No, no chin strap, and this one again, swivel belt, would have been a fixed bell. This one is actually 29B3. Sorry about the glare. 29B3, if you can see that. Very early helmet. It's actually got Osman ND in there. I assume that's a soldier's name written in like a chalk. Osman, ND Osman. So again, 29B3. So this one probably would have been somewhere around, again, maybe July or August of 1941. Maybe into September, possibly. Moving on here, this one I got back in December. It's got AF on the front. It actually has it underneath there. It's been painted over, if you see, by the navy blue. It's got like a ship wheel on both sides, which is pretty cool. Could have been like a quartermaster type thing. This one is still a fixed bell and has chin strap and everything. And this one, the heat stamp or heat lot number is 67B. And so this one would have been probably early 1942. It could have been maybe around January or February. Again, this is kind of a guesstimation. There is a book out there called Helmets of the ETO that has a chart for M1 McCords, and you can kind of roughly go by, but it's not necessarily set in stone. Right here, I've got this pretty cool one. This one looks like it's camo. You see it's like two-tone looking. Like you got like greenish more on this side and like a orangish or like a sand color on this side. And it actually has a yellow dot here on the side, which could have been for like shore party, or again maybe like Pacific Corpsmen, in the Pacific Theater. Again, they didn't use the Red Cross because Japanese would target the medics and stuff. But again, to me, it looks like it's two-tone. If you see that, it doesn't look like it's on accident. I believe it's purposely done that way. But just kind of curious to see what your opinions are. This one's still fixed bell, but no chin strap. And the heat lot number, heat stamp, is 69B. So again, this one would probably date somewhere around January or February of 1942. So another early one. Right here, this one's pretty interesting. This one, as you can tell, it's misshapen. It's definitely seen better days. And I don't know if it got hit by, ran over by something or crushed somehow. I don't know if it got hit by a shell or what, but it's definitely been battered and beaten and crushed and damaged. It's all out of shape, as you see. And this one right here, it's actually 79B. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right there in the crack. The B's split through, but it's 79B. So again, this one, like I said, probably around February of 1942, roughly. Moving on here, this one's got like a glaze to it. You see that? It's real shiny and everything. And it's got kind of like a weird rusty look to it, or weird kind of pattern. I don't think it's like a camo like the other one that I was kind of wondering about, but it's got like a glossy look to it. This one does have a chin strap, but it's kind of a weird chin strap with like this little snap button type thing. I don't believe this is military style chin strap. Could have been done something after the war, like for Cubs, Boy Scouts or something. But this one is actually 80C. It's kind of hard to see, but 80C on there, and so that's a pretty early one, probably more closer to March of 42. Moving on, I've got this one. It's got a big knock on the outside. Could have been hit by something. Swivel bell. Again, all of these would have originally been fixed bell, but swivel bell, no chin strap. This one's 88C. You can see that, 88C. So again, probably around maybe March, roughly, of 1942. And moving on here, I've got another one. This one's got one chin strap, but it's got dents on the top and everything. And this one, the heat lot or heat stamp number is 89A. So again, around March or so of 42. Moving on here, this is one of my very first M1 helmets I ever got. This one was actually used by like a hippie, evidently, or maybe a soldier that had a sticker on it of a flower, and it was basically peeled off completely. So I just peeled it off. But it had, you see, like a petaled flower there on there. And it does have a liner, but it's definitely seen other days, or better days, I should say. And on the inside, it's still fixed bell. It's got a piece of the original chin strap, but no hook there. And it's got this random thing. I don't even know what that is added on there, but It's got the name Mike Lavenius in here in USMC. So if I had to guess, that's probably the veteran's name who owned this during the Vietnam War, if I had to guess. But this one, I'm sorry, I didn't even show you. This one, the heat lot or heat stamp number is 94C. It's kind of hard to see. 94C right there. So again, another one from somewhere around March of 42. And I got one more helmet to share with you. This one, it's got like a crease on the top. I don't know if it was grazed by a bullet or what. You know, a lot of times we would like to think we know what caused damage, but we're not sure. But it could have been a bullet possibly that creased it. And this one actually has like an NCO stripe going left to right across the back. You know, like an officer stripe would have been up and down, would have been vertical, not horizontal. So this would have been, could have been a sergeant or something like that. And this one's got a really nice liner with it. No leather chin strap, but a lot of times those, you know, wore out over time because leather doesn't hold up in a lot of conditions. The number on this one is 104A. 104A. And so again, another one around March of 42. And, you know, I have a lot of other helmets. Like I said, I've got around 90 M1 helmets total. And I've got several other ones from, like, later on in 1942, 1943, all the way after the war. And, you know, I'm very OCD and stuff. I've actually got all my helmets organized by their earliest date, by, like, the heat lot or heat stamp number. And, again, it's not always a guarantee when they were produced. It's just kind of a guesstimation. But there are other characteristics that can help us with that. Helmets are really fun to collect, you know. Again, there's some guys that focus heavily on collecting helmets, forking out a lot of money. Same thing like, you know, like guns or uniforms or medals or whatever it may be. Realistically, I'd like to have a liner for every helmet, so I am always looking for more World War II liners. But again, like I mentioned earlier, the price of stuff is really getting on up there. And I do have a family of 6, you know, me and my wife and 4 kids. So God comes first, and then my family, and then the hobby for sure. But anyways, guys, I hope you liked this video. Let me know what you think. I'd love to see your helmet videos. If you want to put a video together, and just let me know when you upload it. I'd like to see them. Let's keep encouraging each other. Keep your head up. God bless all of you. And I'll be getting back to you soon. Thank you.